Hi there, this is Ava, and I am at ilovetostamp.com. So I'm a Canadian Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I have received a few requests to show how I did my watercolor card, which I used with the lovely Floral embossing folder. So I decided I'm gonna go ahead and make a little video tutorial just in case there are some of you that are struggling perhaps with it. So I posted a card similar to this, very similar to this, about 2 weeks ago maybe, and I received, like I said, quite a few comments on it or requests for the tutorial. So that was with a different color scheme, and I'd love to show it to you, but I actually gave it to my vet, and she quite liked it as well. So let me start by showing you what you need for to create this card, okay? So first of all, I already pre-cut everything, but what you need is a Whisper White card base, which is 4¼ by 5½ cut. Then the next thing you'll need is the soft sea foam, which is the matte color, and that one is cut to 4" by 5¼ the last, well, not last quite, but the focal point of the card is actually going to be the watercolor card base, which is embossed twice with our lovely floral. And I quite love this. This is the lovely floral. Actually, it's visible more this way. Embossing folder. I gotta tell you, at first I didn't quite love it, but I'm being honest here. But once I realized, oh, you can watercolor or paint this, or even cut it out if you want to and use it as a focal piece, I'm like, wow, okay, game on. So with that said, I basically, what I did, let me pull this back. When you cut your paper, which in this case is 3½ by 4¾ by the way, what you do is you take your embossing folder and put your paper in it, and you just kind of make it so that you're only partially embossing, and then I did it on both sides, so that's kind of how it lined up. And it's inevitable that part of the design is not going to be showing once you go over it with the second image, but it's okay, it's still visible, and you can watercolor it and it'll be fine. So those are the items on, and also I already punched, cut and punched a 1" strip, and I punched it with the banner triple punch. So I have a cute little punched banner that is gonna go, and I used, if you can see on my card, I have a cute little corner piece here. And basically what I used is the Petals and More thin lids, and I just used this little die here, and I used the Heather, Highland Heather cardstock for that. Now another secret to share with you, I'm not a purple lover. I don't know how many of you are out there, but I'm not a purple lover. However, this Highland Heather, and even the new grape color too, that's quite beautiful. So those are okay in my color palette, so you'll see me use those quite a bit. So what you need for this card is, like I said, watercolor card base, and the colors I used today once again is the Highland Heather. I used Melon Mumbo. I used the soft sea foam, which I love this color, and I quite love this too, Mango Melody. So these are really pretty. So all I'm gonna do is just open up all of them, and I have yet to figure out how to make these colors go on this side. So some of them I'm just basically inking up direct from the pad. Maybe not the best way to go, but I just need to figure that part out yet. And so I'm just opening up all of them here. Okay, so, and of course I use the aqua painter. Now the other thing I have very handy all the time is a paper towel. So what I do is I make sure that I have some water flowing here, so I test it out on my paper towel, but you don't want it too much either. So I'm gonna start with basically the Heather, Highland Heather. I keep forgetting the name of it, Highland Heather, and I just dab it in here. Maybe it's not the best idea, but this is the way it works for me. So until someone tells me a different way, I'm gonna keep on doing that. So I basically just start at the top I'm this is too watery for me right now. You see, it's a little too watery, so I dab it off because then I'm not gonna have enough paint on it or color on it, right? So I go back and then I'm gonna use more. So you still see that it's a little puddly here, but it's good enough. So not too bad. And you can see it kind of like going on. And I don't color the petal all the way in. I also color in within the line. That is just my method, but you can obviously try something else too. And I'll just go ahead and do all of it at first, kind of. And it doesn't have to be too slow, but I tend to start in the inner part, so kind of like here. Hope you can see this well. Maybe I'll just move it up a little bit for you. And like I said, I don't color all of it in, and I'm gonna go back and actually add another layer, and I'll show you another thing that I do once I'm done with that. So I'll just keep on coloring and coloring. So there. Now it's pretty much messy like this, right? So now I can go back once it's a little bit drier, and I'll start from the other edge. You see this? I'll start from this edge that has no ink on it, right? So, and I'll go back and pull it with it just as much as I want. So that, and I keep wiping off my brush. So, but I keep going and pulling it so that it's not so announced on the other side, yet it is there. Now, so that's one thing that you can try. And as you can see, now it's pretty colored, but not incredibly. Then the next thing I do when my brush is almost pretty dry, okay, just quite dry, then I'll go back and I'll ink it up again, and I kind of dab, as you can see, and that way I'm adding more color. As you can see, it's spreading. So now I'll have more definition of this petal, right? And it's actually even better when it's almost dry. So I normally wait a little longer, but this is fine too. And there you go. And it's pretty much done. As you can see, it's very similar to this, right? Now it may look a little darker now because I chose to go a little darker, but you can go lighter as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and do the same with this one. So I need a little more water at first, as I mentioned, but not too much. And so like you see, this is too much. So now I'm gonna go back, and I can even dab with my paper towel. If it's too much, just dab with the paper towel. It's very forgiving because you've got a watercolor cardstock. And like I said, I don't do it all the way. So I just do partial. And it's very quick. And again, I stay within the lines. Now, who's excited about June 1st, by the way? Because I am. I have quite a bit of a list, although I'm going to spread it out, but I have quite a bit of a list growing, so it's going to be fun. I forgot to pull these in. See, I'm talking. But you see how easy it is? It's really not that difficult. I hope I'm not making it sound too easy, and then some of you say, no, it's not. But I gotta say, I have had quite a bit of practice, so you'll get there too if you're not there yet. You see how it's those little dabs, they just add so much dimension to it, right? And that's really all it is. Maybe that's a little too much of a dab. So I can just smooth it out if I choose. And there's that one. Now I'm gonna go back and do these guys too, because I chose to use those as purple too. And it can be lighter or darker. You are the creator of your card. Oh, and I have something that I have told other people, because it happens so often that we love to compare when we see other people's work and say, oh man, I'm not that good. I can't do it that good. My cards are not that pretty. Well, a few years ago, I saw this really amazing quote. and I loved it, and I thought I'll share it here because since I'm talking. Anyway, the quote went like this: comparison is a thief of joy. So what that means is don't compare yourself, because then it's going to take your joy away. Just keep on creating, keep stamping, keep die cutting, keep painting, whatever you do, just do it. That's really all it is. Now my brush is too dry, so now I'm going to add a little water, and of course now it's going to be too watery, but that's okay. On this one we don't want it to be too dark, and I'm just going to add a little bit, so this flower won't be too dark. So then the next thing I did, so we're done with all the purple. Then I took my Melon Mambo, and I took this, it's a very bright pink, right, or something like that, but I find that this is the perfect pink for me if I want to add it, and I can make it darker or lighter. It's really up to me. So in this case it's just a really happy pink, and this one I'm just gonna really just very easily paint. Now that's too pink, so again use your your paper towel, right, and then you can remove the color. And that's what I love about watercolors actually. So some of them will be darker, some of them will be lighter. You see, this is the part where the embossing kind of wiped away when I embossed for the second time, but it's okay. And you see, I'm not being really perfect by any means. It's really just a quick process. And I think that's all the pink is. Okay, so we're done with the pink. Next, I used Mango Melody, such a pretty color, to just color my middle of my flower. And I need more water, so I'm just gonna squeeze a little out, because I don't want this to be too yellow. You see? So it's not that difficult, it's just very quick, and you don't have to be precise. And finally, I'm gonna go ahead and use the gorgeous soft seafoam ink. And again, I'm just gonna go over all of the greeneries with it. I'll even paint in my lines, my little lines here, so you can see them better. And we're almost done. Not much more to go actually. Super easy. Oh, I missed a little flower there. I think I'm gonna go back with that. So there you go. Voila, it's done. It's done. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this quickly, just so that we can finish this card with the heat gun. So it's fully dry. And that's it. Okay, so then the other thing I did on this card is once I painted it in, I guess I have an ink spot here, is I used my scissors to distress the edges. I used to do this so often in the past, and I forgot about this until, oh, I'm like, I forgot about that. So it just adds so much to it, in my opinion anyway. And I also distressed my my mat. So I got a little mess here. So anyway, I'm done with this. Now what you do is in this card I stamped my stamp onto the soft sea foam banner using the same color ink. And this one I decided to use the Highland Heather, so it's already done. So you just glue it down. That's all you're gonna do, which I'm gonna do right now. And I put my glue out here would have been helpful. So there it is. There it is. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and glue this on here. So now I actually will use the tear tape on this because it's a watercolor paper. And I also used water on it, obviously. So I'm gonna use the tear tape so that it's for sure down. A little more. Oops. Okay, and before I glue it down, I'm gonna go ahead and add my little corner pieces, just so. And because I got the glue on there, it will stay on. And glue this on. And finally, glue that whole piece on. To my card base. And voila. So this is the one I made, and this is the one I just recreated. So what do you think? So if you like these, you know, if you like to subscribe to my blog, that will be great. And if you're looking for a Canadian Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I really would love to be yours. So join me. And also June 1st, just in a couple of days, we're going to have our new catalog coming out. If you're watching this before June 1st, if watching it after, just reach out to me to get one as well. And also I have my May hostess code going this month. So if you would like to order any of these products, basically you can just use the hostess code and you'll definitely get some goodies from me. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you love these cards as much as I do, and I hope I did portray how to do this because that was my intention anyway. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.